don't even know who's gonna be awake for this stream. It's almost midnight on Friday. So most of you probably have it's a school night, so you're probably asleep, but anyway, if you're wondering where I am literally just sitting outside. My apartment is literally right behind me. This is the same spot the spot that I'm sitting in. Here, let me turn on my flash. The spot that I'm sitting in is literally the same spot I found that slug a few weeks ago. But I'm just stressed and depressed. Like, literally nothing will calm my exhausted nerves, Like, not even Bop It will cheer me up. I don't know what the hell's going on. I would take one of my as needed anxiety pills if I could, but they make me super drowsy. Which, I mean, it's not a bad idea. But I mean, I don't really care if no one pops on today. I just need to kind of like let off a little bit of steam and kind of, like just talk without like literally talk without anyone talking to me back. It's almost like talking to an inanimate object, but but it's like, okay, it's kind of weird saying it like this, but I need to talk to someone that is completely unable to talk back, like verbally, like an inanimate object, but it still listens. So technically, the only way I can really do that is through a live stream. I mean, there is the chat feature, but I mean, most of the time you guys post complete nonsense anyway. So, I'll tell you guys this much. I was thinking earlier, and intrusive thoughts got to my head, like, my parents are very transphobic. I'll just say that. And I told my parents before, never watch my channel again because they won't like what they see. Well, I'm just gonna say this straight up. I'm not sugarcoating anything. My parents, I feel like, have done more harm than good to me in the last 3 years. I mean, for some of you originals from like 2021, you guys remember how hard it was for me in 2021. Like, I wanted to come out as trans, but I couldn't. My parents were completely against it. And I mean, they still are, but at least I have my own choices now. But anyway, I was just thinking earlier, and intrusive thoughts kind of got to my head, and like transphobic thoughts entered my head. And I know I'm saying this on like live, but I felt suicidal earlier. I didn't actually do anything. I've felt suicidal before, but I've never had like a set plan or anything, and nor have I ever executed that plan or attempted suicide. Because here's the thing, I have visualized the outcome before. Like, I almost like look into the future as if in the case it actually did happen and it was successful. I visualized how, like, the future and like the outcome. But I'm just thinking, I'm outside to get some air because it's fucking hot in my apartment, even though I've got a lot of fans going. I don't even know, is my window open? No, it's not. I should probably open it. It's like 50 degrees outside here. But yeah, I've been worrying a lot lately, about many different things. I have this guardianship thing. It's a legal document my parents put me on just before I turned 18. This is before I even started YouTube. This was like September of 2019 that this was put on. And that guardianship lasts for 5 years. And it's settled by the court. And so basically, my parents have authority over me, technically, to like make medical decisions or legal decisions or whatever. Like, my parents literally said something completely stupid when I was going to invite someone I met online over to my apartment someday, involving legal shit. And I think what my mom said was absolutely stupid. Like, it was like there's like a 1 in a trigentillion chance that would actually happen. And yes, that's actually a number. I'm not joking. That's actually a number. It's huge. It's a huge number. But anyway, why am I on live? I need to let off some steam. And I need some way that I just need to let off some steam. I'm super stressed right now. So I'm outside. My apartment is literally right behind me. I'm literally just sitting here in the grass, just trying to breathe. And I kind of needed to vent, and literally no one is around, like, at all. For me, for most of my viewers, whether you guys are on the East or West Coast, it's either 2 a.m. or 11 p.m. So I've got a Coke out here with me. And yes, I am wearing my pajamas. I'm only like 20 feet from my apartment, so it's really not that big of a deal. Actually, barely 20 feet. Yeah, barely 20 feet. But I just kind of needed to like vent, you know? And I understand that venting publicly is probably not the safest thing in the world. But I don't know. I'm like too exhausted to think, too tired to think. I probably should be asleep right now, but like literally feels like nothing can cheer me up right now. Like not even playing Bop It can cheer me up, which I don't know how many of you wingnuts actually read the fucking descriptions of my streams. Let me guess, probably one out of the 4,400 plus that are in my streams or that's on my channel right now. But it's actually not abnormal that Bop It isn't cheering me up. It's actually happened before. And typically it's times like this that I feel like giving up Bop It. And I imagine a lot of you who read community posts on my channel probably have seen plenty of that. Like, literally wanting to give up, you know? Like, I don't know. I feel like some people, like my parents, think YouTube and online interaction of any kind, really, kind of gets to me or stresses me out. They are partially right. They're half right. Social media does get extremely stressful. I mean, there's so many different kinds of people on the net, but I mean, yeah, my YouTube channel, I guess what my parents really don't get is that my YouTube channel is like my job. I get income from it. Like, I get money from it. I get paid for views on my videos. Hell, even my gender psychologist said that I basically know where I'm at right now. Of course, haven't even been able to start transition medically yet, but but he told me, like, he kind of he understands where I'm at right now, where I'm obsessed with Bop It. I've gone so much deeper into the Bop It community. I've fallen a lot deeper in the Bop It universe, like the whole enchilada. I've gotten deeper into the Bop It community or the Bop It universe than I ever would have dreamed of getting deep into. Like, I mean, besides Sam Locke, I'm the most popular. Like, okay, so think about this for a minute. Besides Sam Locke, who has, I don't even know how many subscribers he has, which is, I think, like in the 6,500, 6,600 range. Not including him. I'm the most popular Bop It YouTuber on the internet. That's a pretty fucking huge deal. And, you know, just like, it's become a passion. It's become basically my job because I get paid for it. And I enjoy making videos and edits. It's like the old saying, it's like the literally century-old saying goes. Well, maybe not century, but, well, they might have said this in the 20s. Anyway, the phrase is, if you're doing what you love, if you're doing what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. Yeah, if you're doing what you love, you'll never work a day in your life. That means if you enjoy what you're doing and you are doing what you love to do, then it doesn't even feel like work. It just feels like you have fun with it. Okay, I cannot stop staring at the bush literally right across at that house right there. Do you see this? Remember when okay, so let me say this. Remember when I saw a puddle of a girl? It looked like a selfie of a girl, and someone said it looked like me when I was like walking home. It was on this street actually. Take a look at this. Doesn't this puddle, or not puddle, what the hell? Doesn't this bush look like there's a giant cat sitting there? That literally looks like a giant cat sitting there. See? Where's my thing? Right where my finger is, where the light is, there's his, like, nose. This whole part here where my finger is his body. And then this little, I don't even know what that is, if that's part of the edge of their garden, next to their house garden, or if that's a plant, or what the hell that is. But that's the cat's tail. Just sitting there. I find pretty interesting things in different parts of nature. Like when I think it might even be the way how my autism works. I used to work at a greenhouse when I was 17. This was just before my senior year. It was as a summer job. I worked at a greenhouse. And all I did was water fucking trees every fucking day for like 4 hours. Bruh, don't scare me like that, especially not now. Anyway. But yeah, when I was watering like perennials or whatever, it's a type of flower, it's called a perennial. I saw something in a shadow of like someone riding what looked like a dog. I don't even know what it was really, like what the silhouette represented. Like it looked like some guy riding on the back of a giant bulldog or something. I don't know. It was weird. But yeah, so okay, wait, hold the phone. Why is an ASMR channel literally watching my stream right now? That don't make no sense. This is not ASMR. I'm literally just venting. There's literally no one online that I can vent to right now. So I make the stupid decision of venting live on YouTube to the public. Ow, that makes... Wait, were you scrolling on YouTube Shorts? How often do my YouTube live streams appear on Shorts? How often do I appear? Because I'm gonna be honest, you're not the only one that came across this live stream while scrolling on YouTube Shorts. I don't get it. Weird. That's very weird. Well, I guess I might as well introduce myself. I'm Catherine. I am a 22, almost 23 year old trans girl. I know my voice sounds deep. I have not been able to start transitioning yet at all. I make Bop It content. I am technically the second most popular Bop It YouTuber on the internet. Apparently I'm more well known than I initially thought. I have every version of Bop It in English. I have over 200 total units. And there were only 32 different versions made. So I got a lot of duplicates. I got some rare ones. I got some autographed ones from the inventor of Bop It himself. I actually know the inventor personally. And so, yeah. Been on YouTube since about 2020, February 2020, and yeah, I do have depression, I'll just say that. Usually when I'm streaming on mobile like this, I am literally just, I go for walks. I live in an apartment. Right behind me is my apartment, actually. This is the upper level. This is my apartment, like literally right behind me. And then this window down there is my Bop It studio. Actually, you know what? I've never actually seen what my Bop It studio looks like through the window. Oh, the blinds are closed. That's not going to help anything. Oh, Bop It is an electronic game that originated in the 90s where it tells you to do something kind of like Simon Says. Basically, most versions tell you one of three actions, either bop it, twist it, and pull it. And you have to react fast and do the action it instructs you to do when the game gets faster. Yeah. See, just about everyone knows that. Yeah, there are 32 different versions of Bop It as of now. Which version did you play? Did you play the black stick? Because the black stick is the original. You know, it's funny. People wonder, like, what the hell is Bop It? Like, they've never heard of it before. No, it was black. It was a solid black with a purple button and a blue outer ring around it. If it was white, you're thinking of the one that has Shout It from 2009. But yeah, it's funny. I know it's like I meet so many people, and I tell them I'm a Bop It collector, and they're like, "What's Bop It? What the hell is Bop It?" And then I basically demonstrate, or I basically tell them, like, it's a game where it tells you either bop it, twist it, or pull it, and then about halfway through my explanation, they're like, "Oh, that, yeah." It's like, bruh, it's well known. It's like, it's probably most people actually mix Bop It up with Simon, that old memory game from the 70s. Nope, but there's been different versions of Bop It for almost 30 years now. It started in 97. But I'm literally now I'm actually laying down on the grass now. I'm literally like, here, let me turn my flash on again. Yeah, I'm literally just laying on the grass right now. Ouch, damn it. In the dark. Right outside my apartment. I just need to get some air, you know? Yeah, people often mistake Bop It for Simon, memorizing the colors. I was talking to... I have a bunch of, I guess, fans on my channel. Most of them are actually under 15, I would say. I guess it's a decent age range. Most of them are younger than 15. And I mean, it's honestly kind of weird because I'm going to be 23 in like 3 weeks. Actually, less than 3 weeks now. My birthday's on the 26th. And it's like, why has my channel gone from a fan, like, something that started on Discord? There used to be a Bop It community on Discord, but then everyone kind of broke apart and drifted off on their own island doing their own thing. But basically my channel went from that until, it went from that until about, like, I don't know, last year, maybe even late 2022. And now it's literally like a kid's channel. Yeah, it made kind of a awkwardly dramatic shift in audience. But yeah, apparently you're not the only one who has stumbled across one of my streams while scrolling on YouTube Shorts. I mean, I'm going to be honest. Stuff you find on TikTok is not the best anymore. Hell, I remember when the Tide Pods trend was a thing, like in 2016, and then it went to snorting condoms, and then it went to sticking coins in in between an electric plug and plugging it into an actual working outlet. People blowing up their house. Oh, and I've seen the trend where people have literally ripped their fucking school's water fountains straight out of the wall. Like, I don't, like, some of these trends, like, I don't get it, like, at all. I mean, I may be young, but fair. I mean, each channel kind of has its own um type of audience that attracts a lot, especially gaming. I'm not much of a gamer. I do have a Wii. I have a Wii U actually as well. I have an Xbox One, an Xbox One S, all digital. I have an Xbox 360 that, because I can't play discs anymore on, like I can't play discs on the all digital Xbox One S. But otherwise I'm not. Oh, and I have a Switch, but I'm not really a super huge gamer. I never have been. Like, I think the last time I actually played Minecraft was like, let's see, it's 2024. I think the last time I played Minecraft was probably over 10 years ago on an old iPod Touch, 4th generation, that I used to have back in the early 2010s. And it was the Pocket Edition, which was even worse. Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm not. I'm just gonna say I'm honestly, and this is just my opinion. I'm not real happy that the Switch actually beat the Wii in terms of number of units sold. The Switch is like the number of Switch units that have been sold is like almost double what the Wii sold. And I mean, the Wii is like 2000s, like, nostalgia to its highest, I guess you'd say. But I mean, the Wii that I've got, I've actually I have a red Wii that apparently was a special edition Wii when I didn't know it when I got it from the video game store local to me. Oh yeah, Zelda. Would you believe this? I am like I said, I'm almost 23. I've never played Zelda, like any of the Zelda games. I tried Pokemon on the Game Boy through an emulator like once. Then after 30 minutes, I'm like, screw this. It's like, it's too hard, you know? Like, I don't know the right moves that you're supposed to do in Pokemon. Like, what the hell? I found out that there's going to be more info about the Switch's successor, which they're calling the Switch 2. I don't think it's actually going to be called that. I've heard a couple rumored names for the Switch 2. One of them I actually like more than the rest is they were gonna nickname it the 4DS, like the 3DS or the 2DS. Basically, they were gonna bring back the dual screen gameplay, but apparently people are supposed to find out more about it from Nintendo later this month. I don't know. I might get the what they call the Switch 2. I might get it at the end of the 2024 fiscal year, which is end of March 2025. Oh, wow. You were 16 when Nintendo first came out. Wow. I was talking to someone. He was in the video game store with his nephew. He's like, he remembers when the Nintendo first came out. He was like, I forget how old he said, like 8? I gotta say 8 or 9. And it was at Target, I think. No. Yeah, it was at Target, I think. And when he saved up the money, it was like $200 or whatever. And he mowed, let's just say he mowed a lot of lawns to get that money. And then, of course, with the sales tax, he ended up not having enough money because of the sales tax. It was like, oh no, all that work for nothing. Like, yeah, it was, but I mean, hell, I remember my very first Nintendo DS. I think the DS was actually my first console, or my first Nintendo brand anything. I had some pretty strange games on there. Okay, what the hell is floating in the air? I am not crazy. I literally see something floating. Never mind. You were excited to get your first Walkman headset. Now your phone can do all of it. Pretty much. Paper Route, playing Gauntlet, 4 guys playing together. Oh, yes. Yeah, some of those, like, vintage, I guess you can call them vintage at this point, arcade games from, like, the 70s and 80s. I mean, I'm not much of an arcade game person, really. I do enjoy, like, some of those redemption games, like, that you find at arcades now, or you literally spend so much money and barely get any tickets and end up getting prizes that are like you probably end up had spent probably 4 times more than what you could get the actual thing for. I saw a Monopoly game at one of those arcades for like, what was it, 15,000? No, 5,000 tickets or something like that. And it's like, do you know how much 5,000 tickets can be? I've wasted so much money on those machines. And now I barely go to those kind of arcades because they're literally pointless. It's basically junior gambling is what that is. But yeah, the only really actual arcade style game that I like from like the 80s is Tetris. That's like the only game I really enjoy. Like Super Mario Brothers, I'm not 100% I'm not super big of a fan of Mario Brothers because, I mean, I don't know how the hell they do it, but to be honest with you, I think they called it the Nintendo Entertainment System. Not even close. Not even close for fucking an entertainment system. The Japanese version was called the Famicom, Family Computer. It's not even fucking close to a computer. It took cartridges, well, it took discs like a computer. I think the Famicom actually took, I think they used to take floppy disks of some kind, if I remember right. Karate and wrestling games, Mario with your, oh, yeah. See, and like, but any of those games, like Super Mario Brothers, Super Mario Bros. 3, Super Mario Bros. 2, which I guess wasn't all that popular. I guess it's, I mean, it's not unheard of, but it's just not as big as the original and stuff like that. They are so bad when it comes to, like, in my opinion, they are so bad. Like, you gotta have skill. I don't got skill. Personally, I've liked Tetris for years. I used to own a copy of the Game Boy Tetris, which was actually the very first Tetris game that was actually able to be released by Nintendo in 1989. The Game Boy one was actually the very first one. And I mean, I like puzzle games. Some puzzle games I would probably rip the console out of the fucking TV because they piss me off, but 2 was cool because Princess could. Okay, I didn't know that. I never realized that. I never like, okay, so I've played, let's see, which Mario games have I played? I've played Super Mario Brothers through an emulator, obviously, because I never owned an actual Nintendo, like an original. I've played Super Mario Brothers 2 and then immediately gave up after like probably 10 seconds. Super Mario Brothers 3 I've played. I played Super Mario World. I played Super Mario Land through an emulator, which was for the Game Boy. Okay, so like the oldest console I've ever owned is an actual Game Boy from like 1989. I ended up selling it a long time ago. I wish I never did. I wish I never did that, but I guess for recently, the oldest console I've ever owned was a Super Nintendo Compact Edition. So it wasn't like the big huge, I'm just pointing at the light so you can see. It wasn't like the big huge rectangle. This one was like probably about half the size. And the Switch is actually, the Switch was a circle that you switch up and not the whole big fat rectangle thing. I used to have a Nintendo 64 as well. I've had, let's see. Let me tell you which consoles I've had. I've had a Super Nintendo. Okay, hold on. Do you see that flashing? Sorry, ADHD kicking in. I think that's a satellite. I think that's a SpaceX satellite. Either that's a plane. Might be a plane because there's a light flashing between the two. Okay, anyway, back to the consoles. Let's see, which Nintendo consoles have I owned? I've had a Super Nintendo Compact version. I've owned a Game Boy original. I used to have a Nintendo 64. I love Mario Paint on the Super Nintendo. that was fun. Um, let's see. I used to have a GameCube for like a few months. I used to have a Game Boy Advance SP, which is you could play Game Boy Advance and all Game Boy Color and Game Boy games on it. That was from like 2003. I had 2 Nintendo DS Lite systems because I lost one when I was younger, and then like 10 months later I finally find it, and I ended up getting a new one 6 months after I lost the first one, and all of a sudden it pops up. It's like, yeah. Let's see. I've had 2 regular Wiis in my life. I used to have a black one when I was younger. And now I have a red one because I ended up getting a Wii U after I did the system transfer. Let's see. I've had the original 3DS from 2011. I have a Wii U that I actually got this Wii U in 2018. I have a Switch, and that's it. That's I think all of them actually. But yeah, the GameCube did have some pretty cool games. I will admit that I would say my favorite controller of all Nintendo consoles, my favorite is probably the GameCube. Yep, you can play GameCube games on the Wii. You open up the flap on the top. There are 2 flaps. There's one that's longer, then one that's a little bit smaller. That's further back. The one further back is where you put the memory cards. There are 2 slots there. And then the big one towards the front is where you plug in the 4 controllers. Yeah, and so yeah, and let's see. For vintage games that I used to have, actually they call it backwards compatibility. So they started that with the Wii, I think. Actually, no, strike that. They started that with the Wii, where you could play GameCube games. Then with the Nintendo DS, I take that back. They started with that with the DS in 2004, where you could play Game Boy Advance games on it as well. So yeah, you could play those. Then they had backwards compatibility on the 3DS that was able to play original DS games. And then the Wii U had a separate menu for playing Wii discs. Actually, like original Wii discs. And then the Switch has 0 backwards compatibility, but I found out the Switch 2 will. So you can play original Switch games on the Switch 2. So it's like people are going to be tossing out their Switch soon here. It's like one game I used to play all the time, like 2018 to like 2021 on the 3DS was called Tomodachi Life. So basically, like the Mii's on the Wii, they you could it was almost like a mix between Tamagotchi, like the virtual egg pet thing, and except with Mii's, and you could have multiple. And so I used to play that game all the time. I had a whole bunch of Mii's in there. I think I probably had I forget, like 70 Mii's. You can have up to 100 in that one. But I used to have like 70 Mii's. 99% of them I didn't give two shits about. I mostly gave all the attention to my own Mii that I had back then. But yeah, I had so many items unlocked in that game. On your birthday, you could get like a special cake that you could give to one of the Mii's, like to feed them or whatever. It pissed me off because after I sold my original 3DS in like 2021, I think it was, I had Tomodachi Life as a download. Like I bought it off the eShop when it was up. And I tell you what, when I sold my 3DS, that means the download was gone too. 2.5 years of progress gone. Like, it pisses me off so much. And to be honest with you, I want to get a 3DS again just to play Tomodachi Life again. There have been so many, like, hopes from many different YouTubers that I've seen that they want Tomodachi Life on the Switch. And, well, the Switch 2 obviously is not gonna... the Switch 2 is a possibility. The original Switch, I don't think there's gonna be Tomodachi Life for the Switch. The Switch 1, I guess. But, I mean, it'd be so... I mean, they've had so many remakes or remasters on the Switch of older games. Like... shit, I just had one. Like Luigi's Mansion, which was on... Or Luigi's Mansion 3 is what it was. That was on the 3DS. Miitopia, which was on the 3DS. They had a few games on the Wii U that moved over to Switch. Let's see. I kept my PS2 for 2 games. Wing Commander 3 and 4. Play missions while going through interactive movies. They have Mark Hamill and the guy who was Biff in Back to the Future. 4-disc game. Oh, wow. I found out Mark Hamill is actually now part of the SpongeBob production team at Nickelodeon, which is crazy to think about. He made an appearance on an episode of SpongeBob in like 2008. But apparently Mark Hamill is doing that stuff now. I guess he's no longer in space, obviously. Like, because the Star Wars trilogies are over. I guess he's no longer up in the air. He's now underwater. He is a good voice actor. I'll give you. I will give you that. He is really good. I remember watching Star Wars: The Force Awakens when it came out in 2015. And if you haven't seen it, I won't spoil it, but I will say that later on in the trilogy, in the sequel trilogy is what they call it, so 2015, 2017, 2019, later on in the trilogy, he does, like, Luke Skywalker does appear. He does show up. And it's like, holy shit, after all these years, like, from, what is it, almost 50 years now. Almost 50 years that Star Wars has been around. And it's just like, it's crazy. It's like he grew up so damn fast. It's like, slow time down. Great Scott, we have to go back. I'm just kidding. That's not Mark Hamill, but you mentioned Back to the Future. Oh, yeah, I forgot he was the Joker in the animated Batman. I forgot about that.
Mark Hamill has played so many different roles, and to be fair, he honestly makes a better villain voice or a more dark voice than a good guy voice. So, like, Luke was a Jedi. Those are the good guys in Star Wars. His voice, especially now, sounds more villainous than than hero like, you know? So, but yeah, I mean, I've watched. I haven't watched every. He did have a high tone when he was younger. I will give you. Yeah, I'll give you that. Of course, he was young then. He was like, well, I think he was like 18 when he cast in Star Wars, when he got cast in A New Hope. You know, I actually got something to tell you. It's honestly, it's actually a joke, but it's actually a truth at the same time. Do you know that Mark Hamill had never heard of Star Wars before he got cast the role of Luke? Like that's the joke, because Star Wars didn't exist when Mark Hamill, like, before Mark Hamill was cast the role of Luke Skywalker, Star Wars didn't exist. So of course he'd never heard of Star Wars. I'm just going back into my apartment. Nice. I can imagine the theater was packed, wasn't it? Yeah, I can imagine, like, the theater was, like, packed, like Black Friday when the new Nintendo came out. There's actually... Oh, shoot. I did not know there was a lid there. There's actually 5 Star Wars Bop Its, actually. It's like... This is a stick I was talking about. Yeah, this is my... basically Fort Knox here. I've literally got 200 units in here. When you were thinking white, you were probably thinking this one. But there are actually 5 versions of Bop It that are Star Wars themed. So they have one of R2-D2. They have one of BB-8 from the sequel trilogy. Bop It to start. Also voiced by C-3PO. I'll just switch off. Bop It to start. They do have one of... Wait for that to shut off. I'll just switch off for a while. They have one of Chewbacca. This one actually has Harrison Ford's voice in it, Han Solo. Bop It to start. They've got Baby Yoda from The Mandalorian. Bop It to start. Bop It to start. Maybe we should give it a rest, eh, Chewie? Wait for the Yoda to shut off. Hey, let's give it a rest. And then 2022, they actually had a Darth Vader Bop It, and it's got... I actually found out it has the original Emperor Palpatine's voice. Bop It to start. This is like the original Emperor Palpatine. Bop It to start. And actually, the Bop It sound actually makes 2 sounds. Bop It. Twist it. Pull it. pull his fist up.
Pull it. Bop it. Bop it. Bop it. Pull it. It is useless to resist. Score 8.
Yeah, it does his it does the breathing sounds, which is actually honestly kind of clever. But yeah. Yep. You'll have to get them. To be honest with you, the R2-D2 is super easy to play. You literally just bop his head, twist his dome, and then pull his leg. This was actually the first with character Bop It, so you can see there's so many characters now. The R2-D2 was in 2015. That was the first character Bop It. And here it is, 2024. They now have Stitch from Disney, which ever since Star Wars got owned by Disney, there have been so many Disney characters with Hasbro for Bop It. But here it is, 2024. They got Stitch and they got Optimus Prime. Hell, I'm surprised they managed to get Paramount's licensing for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Like, for real. But yeah, here I'll open these doors here. I'll back up. This is the whole thing. So I've literally got all of the versions in English, which is everything on this shelf and this shelf. Down here I have ones that are in foreign languages. And this one as well. This one's actually Japanese. I managed to get that off of Japanese Amazon. Many different color variations. Some of them, like this pink one from a Bop It that was from 2003. This one was 2004, actually. Some of them, like this, are UK exclusive. This black one there, that's UK exclusive. This black one is UK exclusive. Some of them, you can see I've got new in the box. I actually have the original Bop It, brand new in the box. You can see it back there. I got it for $5 on eBay through auction. But yeah, I've got some that are like limited edition, like a clear version of the white one. I have, this actually always gets people, is there was a Bop It Extreme game, like this one, made into a watch in 2002. There were only 50 of those made, so I got that new in the box. Yeah, I know, the buckle's broken. Spent $85 on this sucker, though. Like, seriously. It's very rare. Not very many Bop It collectors on the internet have those. I've got some that were actually signed by the inventor of Bop It himself. Well, these are some prototype card games that he had on his website. The inventor's name is Dan Klitzner. I have a signed pre-release version of what's called the world's smallest Bop It. Looks like this. It's got modern sounds, but it looks like the original shell. This was the 25th anniversary version. So I have a pre-released version of the world's smallest. I have a signed version of what's called the Bop It button, which I'll show you in a minute. I have one that world's smallest that was signed on 2/22/22, and I have a pre-production unit of the Bop It button. So basically how the Bop It button works is it tells you either bop it or don't bop it. It sounds simple, but it's really not. So basically what you have to do is it'll tell you bop it or don't bop it, and it doesn't do it like on rhythm, like bop it, like not like that. It'll literally say bop it at the most random times. Like after you bop it once, it might not even make the sound afterwards, like saying you did the command correctly. It might even say bop it again. But the key with this thing is you have to have 110% of your attention on the game. You have to have 110% of your attention and focus on the game, because sometimes it'll play sounds or even just phrases to try to throw you off and distract you. So I'll demonstrate here.
Bop it. 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 Don't bop it. Bop it. Bop it. Don't bop it.
So those are sound effects that have been used over the years.
Bop it. Bop it. Yeah. Bop it. Bop it. Don't bop it. Bop it. Bop it. Bop it. Don't bop it. Bop it. Don't bop it. Bop it. Yeah. Bop it. Don't bop it. Bop it. Bop it. Bop it. Bop it. Bop it. Bop it.
And it'll throw in phrases like that to try and throw you off.
Bop it. Bop it. Bop it. Don't bop it. Bop it. Bop it. Don't bop it. Don't bop it. Bop it. Bop it. Bop it. Don't bop it. Don't bop it. Bop it. Yeah. Bop it. Bop it. Bop it. Bop it. Bop it. Yeah. You're so hot right now. Bop it. Bop it. Bop it. Bop it. Don't bop it. Bop it. Bop it. Don't bop it. Don't bop it. Bop it.
It's not really that.
Just go to sleep now. Bop it. Don't
It's not really that fast. This actually is the speed the whole time.
bop it. Bop it. Bop it. Bop it. Bop it.
See, it'll make sounds like that to distract you.
Bop it. Don't bop it. Bop it. Don't bop it. Don't bop it. Killer dude. Let's go. Don't
That killer dude was actually from the old Bop It Extreme from the 90s. So they threw some original
bop it.
sounds in here as well.
Bop it. Don't bop it. Bop it. Bop it. Don't bop it. Bop it. Bop it. Bop it. 100. Hey, you win. Not. Bop it to keep going.
Okay, no problem.
Bop it to keep going.
Glad you stopped by.
Bop it. Hey, you win. Not. Try again. Don't. Yeah. Dude. Don't bop it. Score. 100.
But yeah, you have to get 2,500 to beat that game. 25 levels for 25 years of Bop It. I've actually tested a prototype of the Bop It button. So this is the original variant. It's just style, like just design. Then that's the 2009 version. But yeah, I've tested a prototype. That was super cool. So I'm actually gonna end the live here. Because I've really got nothing else to talk about. So, for those who are watching, thank you for watching. I might do a stream probably this weekend. If you have not checked out my channel, and you're new here, please feel free to check it out. Just a fair warning that any video that I have made in October 2023 or before has my dead name in it, please do not use it. You'll find out how hideous I looked even back then. But anyway, yeah, I'm gonna clock out here. So thank you guys for watching. AJ, I will text you on Facebook. Or not Facebook, Instagram. But anyway, we'll see you guys next time. Let me prop this up for a moment. Come on. You know what? Screw this. Bye.